Alright. Audio looks good. Video looks good. And we're off. Time to get our Deep Space Gateway manned. I am going to take this contract, even though I think I'm going to lose money on it. All right. A lot of crap going on here. Let's do some cleanup. I do need to get the lander and the transfer vehicle in good position to get to Minmus. So first off, we're going to get rid of some space debris. First on the list is this little guy. We're aiming retrograde. Here we are. Good. That's one bit of space debris. It's done its job. We do have a cleanup probe. Awfully close to the quote-unquote bad idea ship. Which is more space debris at the moment. We might be able to pull off a rendezvous there. Of course, this cleanup probe is the one that was currently grabbing one of these retrieval objects, although not grabbing it very well. That object might be decent for a regular retrieval. We're going to come pretty close to this thing over the next orbit. Over the next orbit. Let's check in on some of these other cleanup probes, though, and see if one of these other ones can go for it. Since that one is already holding some debris that we need to try and safely return to Kerbin in that one's case. We've got a lot of fuel on this one. So this one we could do some more radical moves. Not that radical. Because we need to catch up to it. That might actually not be that easy. Have anything in position to pick up? Whoa. Okay, yeah, that would be this one. Got it. Looked like the station was on a really dangerous course there for a second. But it is good. Have a Rossby's ship over here. Rather not have that lying around. Oh, the chaos. We're actually doing quite good for, let's over the Nedbo's pod as well. Like how this one's communications. Boop, boop, boop. Very neat. Another cleanup probe way out here. Launched quite a few of these. So what we can do when it's at this very high intersect. Let's see here. Let's lower our orbit. Ooh, that one's actually got some pretty good timing. Won't have to manipulate that all that much, I don't think. We can treat this just like we do with moon station deliveries. Do our descending node correction. .5 is already a pretty good intersect. So if we can make it better. Timing needs to be changed just a little bit out here to compensate. That was not just a little bit. We want just a little bit. Oop, had it. Oh, come on. Come on. Nice and easy. Tiny adjustment, please. Thank you. Okay. That should do. So 23 minutes to its burn. Let's time warp to it. We also have to look out for our Minmus rover. See if we can get that back towards Minmus. Or if it's still very short on Sun. There we go. Trying to get that as exact as possible. Thrust limit this down quite a ways. Okay, that should be on its way. Next maneuver is in 3 hours. We will have other maneuvers to do around that time. And we still don't have power on the Minmus rover because our solar panels are here, the sun is over there. So that doesn't really work for us. So we are just in uncontrolled flight, circling around Kerbin. So that is very unfortunate. We do also have to check in on Minmus, because we do have Surveyor 2. To see when its circularization burn will have to be. It's 2 days away. Wow. Okay. So that's got a little more time on it. So probably I can do some more with this cleanup probe. Hours 9 minutes. It's like an awful long time. Watching also how well this cleanup probe is catching up to Nedbo's pod. That will be another thing we want to wipe out. What on earth is going on with this guy? This has no electric charge? Really? I just perfectly put that solar panel in the shadow. It's the first time I've ever done that with a deployable solar panel. Alright. That's annoying. It's becoming a consistent problem. So we're gonna miss our maneuver, that's for sure. We're gonna fly right by our target. There it is. Oh, and we're gonna actually deorbit this thing. Okay, that's interesting. Didn't see that coming. We would have done that maneuver right there and caught up to it. So we just burned up this. This poor probe. Oh, it's got a little bit of power. It's got just a tiny bit of power. It's too late. Yep, it's too late. Now I can't turn away from it because it's an atmosphere. So we're going to watch it burn up. Still going quite fast. It's actually making its way back up right now. Seems it had sufficient speed to to escape the atmosphere again. Of course, it now doesn't have a solar panel at all and has no power, so it is going to eventually deorbit itself. Well, that was a waste. Not really, it achieved a different mission, but, you know, would have been nice to get that freebie right there. There we go. It's back in space. That was interesting. A little arrow braking. Switch back to the rover. See if the rover's in position that could just get a little bit of sunlight. Oh, yep. A little bit of sunlight. A little bit of sunlight. Oh, yeah. Go, little rover. Recharge. Alright, we might be able to do something with the rover here. I mean, Minmus is now way the heck over there, but you know, these things happen. What we can try and do, it would have been ideal to do the maneuver here. This is gonna get weird. Have the fuel to do that? Alright. As I said, it's gonna get weird. But we have the fuel to do it. I swear I'm getting this rover. To Minmus. I'm gonna fall into that trap and let this actually charge this time. Is there a reason these are going forward? It's kind of free spinning. Make sure they're not like wasting charge there. And that's why it ran out of battery so fast. Well, anyway, just facing the sun now. So that one's in 5 hours 46 minutes. So I got to keep an eye out for that. We will do a maneuver to launch this back over to Minmus. And probably the strangest maneuver I've ever done. I don't think I could do any stranger of a maneuver than this. Cleanup probe 2. This one's still a little ways away from Nedbo's pod, so that'll be another one we'll have to try and do. Relay 1 still needs to get way out in front before I correct its orbit. What else we got going on here? KSP 4. Where's KSP 4? Right here. This one I think is stranded, so we will have to send something up to deorbit that as well. I'm going to have to slow down the ship quite a bit so we can Try and pull off a rendezvous with the lander. It's actually on a fairly low orbit. No wonder we're not really catching up to it. Or it catching up to us. And I guess it does stay above. No, it does stay reasonably above. I'm just looking at it wrong. Alright. Let's maybe time warp down a little bit. So I got a few things I'm now waiting on. Our surveyor probe, we need to time that out as well. It's still 2 days away. I might be able to just time warp the rover's maneuver. Let's see if that gives us enough time to start getting things in a better position to maneuver. So let's just warp part of the way. These are still quite a ways off. Lander's getting a little closer to what we could do for a rendezvous burn, so we might do that here in a second. Maybe not. Let's just a little further. Get that lander nice and close in to the ship. Yeah, that should probably do. Too many maneuvers. Too much stuff all at once. Alright, now. It's going to still be a little longer. Go through one more orbit. Okay, now we should be able to plan it out. We actually needed to do it earlier, not later. It's a good thing I paused and took another look at it. It's pretty good. Just a little bit of radial adjustment. 0.5. 0.5 is the best probably we're going to get. Alright, that maneuver is in 4 minutes 40 seconds. So we'll get the Minmus lander in position. Do the transfer burn. We are, of course, already at the correct inclination. Which is the minimus inclination. Why is this being so wobbly? Oh, this is not a character trait of the vehicle. Oh, you know what helps? Activating the engine. There we go. Typically, activating the engine does help. Okay, actual intercept 3.8. Holy crap, we're off. Oh. No, we're not. We're good. How close to the rover to its maneuver? It's got to be like right there. Hope this has at least an hour. Yep. 2 hours. Till its maneuver. Okay. Alright, so in that case, go back to our lander. We can time warp up to the intercept. I can pre-check and see what the speed difference will be between us and that other untitled craft. 49.3 meters per second. So I'll set a maneuver node. I'm going to just see how much 49.3 meters per second will cost us. It'll cost us 4 seconds. 4 seconds of burn. So right here, we're going to be about 2 seconds in front of that position when we want to burn. Not bad. Not bad at all. Just 26 meters away. We can go and recover this lander, and we'll get our crew and transfer vehicle on the way to Minmus very shortly. Our hodgepodged transfer vehicle. Now we need to go to docking mode. RCS needs to be on. We're linear. Oh. I don't have forward and back thrusters on this for RCS. That would be, that'd be bad. That'd be a bad thing I did. Well. That's not gonna work. Well, we just found a fatal flaw with the the lander. But for now, we're going to take it on the way. I guess we'll use it as a reserve lander. Or find some other way to dock it properly. I guess I could technically not be a wuss about it. Come to think of it. I just won't have any braking thrust. So I need to do this correctly the first time, that's all. Which, I mean, it's me, come on. So we're going to go forward, ever so gently, ever so gently, ever so gently. Alright, and now, we're still linear mode for RCS, we can still use it. To guide us in. We just don't have any braking thrusters. Not the end of the world as long as I trust my docking skills. More this way. Perfect. We'll just be content with that, I guess. And I'll come back to this in just a second. Because now we're going to do the time warp for the rover. Sure, we're getting sunlight. Time warp most of the way there. Signal quality's crap, but should be okay. Alright, so a minute, 18 seconds. We want this to be then 39 seconds away from the maneuver when we go to actually burn. And we're gonna head for Minmus, which I can't even tell you where Minmus is right now. Oh, there it is, right there. Right there. So we're just gonna straight line. Straight line. We're just gonna head right for it. Hope for the best. Oop. Activate the engine, please. And this time I'm going to have to be very careful about how I orient it to the sun, because if we miss this again, it's done. It's over with. It's screwed, because it's going to then be on a exit trajectory from Kerbal Sphere of Influence. Which means this is probably going to have some pretty serious braking to do when it comes around to Minmus, but hopefully we can manage that. Hopefully we don't run out of fuel. Alright, we're heading for an intercept. In 6 days. Just the loopiest. What am I even doing here? This is madness. This is Kerbal. Alright, let's position this to the sun. So we at least get some solar power on its way. Little rover is back on its way to Minmus with 420 meters per second of delta V left in the transfer stage. That's a good sign. It's actually telling us about how crazy our plan is. All right. I think our cleanup probe still hasn't deorbited. It's surprising. Okay, transfer vehicle. Now, need to figure out this one's transfer to Minmus. It is already on the correct inclination. And we kind of just missed our window there. So, what we're going to want to do next orbit. Well, that would be interesting. Get a little flyby done. It's just... There we go. That's more like it. Why did it just change our inclination? That was odd. It was very odd. Well, let's see. We're going to have a 7-second burn. That's pretty good. Pretty easy to manage. Ooh, I need to check on the surveyor satellite in a second here. That's it way out there. Yeah, it's getting there. It's not quite to its position, so I think I'm good for the moment. Surveyor satellite is a key part of our current interplanetary mission. Did magically change from a 7-second burn to a 21-second burn, now back to an 18, now a 22. Alright. It's interesting. And now back to a 7-second burn. I'm having trouble trusting that now. Alright. Still gonna trust it, I guess. It's 4 seconds away. We're gonna start burning. With a full crew on board. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more than a 7-second burn. Why is that reading as 7 seconds? That is quite annoying. Now it's saying 8 seconds. Oh! I know exactly why. Now I know exactly why. Or do I? Nope, I don't. I don't know what the heck this thing is doing. It is not making any sense at all right now. It has zero idea what's going on. Thought it was maybe firing retrograde there. Well, we already started to do the burn. Let's see if we can't salvage something out of this. Okay. Still gonna get our encounter. With whatever craziness was happening there. Used a lot of our Delta V. I think this maybe isn't figuring things correctly. If I transfer fuel, I think I'm gonna see more Delta V in here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this is actually counting all this properly. Well, that's not good. Guess it is moving a lot of craft here. Almost 28 tons worth. I think it should be reading more. $76 kilonewtons of thrust. Actually pretty good thrust. Yeah, we should be fine. Now we should do the time warp for Surveyor 2. where? Here. Should now be coming around the faster part of its orbit. 4 hours. Alright. Only a 1 second maneuver. Which is going to be perfectly retrograde. Time warp the rest of the way in. And then we'll start doing a mining map of Minmus. So we can start mining once we get our lander here. Not that it'll be able to dock properly. We'll figure that out eventually. Probably will just keep using the engine as our forward and just not have any way to back off. If I do it right, it shouldn't be a problem. So 2 seconds away, I'm going to throttle up. I'm just going to try and partial throttle that one. Correction. Whoop, went much longer than it was supposed to. Whatever. Alright, now. Stable polar orbit. What is this then? What is this? If that's not a stable polar orbit, what is? Is it saying it needs to be exactly polar, or is it going to be that picky? "300 kilometers and 25 kilometers. Ah. I see. Nope, that didn't work. That super didn't work. What on earth? What? How does it figure? How to waste fuel with Dude I Called You Bro. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Now I can retrograde burn. It's because my current altitude is too high. So we're doing some crazy stuff right now. So right here, we're going to do our radial correction here. Actually, what I should do is just do a little bit of inclination correction as well. Oh, other way. I've got tons of fuel on this, is why I'm just really not caring what I'm doing. Okay. I want this to be my apogee. Okay. There we go. Orbital survey. That's what we wanted. So there are our rich zones. And our richest zones. Okay. So that's really the perfect landing zone for our first go. That is the richest concentration of ore. That spot right there. We can change the view just to make it a little easier. Heat map. Ah. So there's loose concentrations here as well. I don't know why that part is red. Shouldn't that be green? So maybe the green zone's what I want to go for first then. We'll figure that out. But at least we'll have an idea of where we should be setting down. At least something to go off of. Oh. Okay, that's still... Wow. This is still an orbit? What the heck? I'm starting to question what the heck is going on here. Things are acting weird. Up, spin yourself to the sun, hurry. God, why does it do that? Okay. Yes. Sip the sun's life-giving rays. Does it think this is an orbit? Yeah, look at that. It's a Kerbin escape. And then no. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, if we screw this up, we go into solar orbit. $5 days away. That's going to be stressful. I'm going to be watching that one quite a bit. Now this is finally... Aha. Aha! Finally coming up on Nedbo's pod. We'll finally deorbit that freaking space junk. Finally! Ooh, I'm nailing it too right here. First try. bit of inclination difference. It's not a huge problem. Whoop, that's a huge problem, is if I hit that button when I'm not supposed to. Nice. We're finally gonna bring back Nedbo's pod. This has been the most annoying piece of space debris for the longest time. Okay, now we can do an inclination correction. Sending node 1 degree. Because it's 2. Point 2. I like point 2 much better. This one's 1 hour, 49 minutes away. Let's time warp to that one. I like that our signal, because our relay network isn't perfectly balanced, our relay signal is bouncing off of Surveyor 1, then to a relay, then to us. That's kind of funny. The tiniest of burns. Less than a meter per second of burning. Bingo. Actual intercept 0.1. We actually executed that better than the node would have suggested. Relative speed difference is going to be 28 meters per second. Transfer in some excess fuel just to make sure we're covered. Because this is not going to be where we want to get rid of that stage. So 28 meters per second. I'm just going to see what 28 meters per second looks like in terms of how long it's going to be to change that. 1 second. It's going to take 1 second. So when we are basically on top of the thing, when we've basically smashed into it, that'll be when we want to go. I don't have much else going on, so let's time warp in. It's a whole day away. Oh well, let's time warp. Theoretically, Relay 1 should be catching up to where it belongs. I did lower its orbit ever so slightly. So over the course of many days, it should get back into position for a perfect equilateral triangle, for perfect network coverage. Oop. Retrograde to target, please. We've only got 1 second to do this. Okay, where is it? It's claiming we're like right on top of it. Oh yeah, there it is. Forward, imagine that. Let's close the distance with it. Here we go, Nedbo's pod. Finally. Finally we can deorbit the space junk. First, the space Uber came and picked up Nedbo. Now the space tow truck has come to bring this to the scrap heap. Alright. Sure we're controlling from here. And we go retrograde. Okay. Now we deorbit this. Alright. Should be able to flip prograde. Hope this is going to be enough. Oh, I don't think that's going to be enough. I'm going to leave space debris anyway. What the hell? You're kidding me. All that, and I'm leaving space debris. At the same altitude. Alright. Here's what it is. Should have just transferred more fuel down. But I thought we had it. Yeah, no, I saw its orbit. It is definitely stuck, unfortunately. The only thing to do is make this one worth it, and make a really epic beeline for Kerbin, and burn up Nedbo's pod in the most dramatic way possible. It is at full throttle. Let's throttle on. Throttle on. There we go. Where's Kerbin? Where is Kerbin? There it is. Okay. Okay, now we're heading pretty much right at Kerbin. I want to see how fast we can impact Kerbin. I'm jostling it off course a little bit on purpose, just to make sure it's actually heading directly for the core. of Kerbin and not accidentally reestablishing an orbit. Meanwhile, that pod debris, really annoyingly, is going to be in space. Alright, now this should be an extremely fast path. Well, at least the other one's debris and not a pod. I guess there is that benefit. I can always turn off debris. But I couldn't make this not a pod anymore because I had no control area. So I guess that is a little better. Now that I really have to think about it there. Alright, now the goal. Watch this sucker burn up. To give you an idea of how long that's been up there, it's mission day 139 of 147 days that we've played in game. 147 in-game days, and this has been up there for 139 of them. So day 8 is when this was put up. Fortunately, this is going to impact with the dark side of Kerbin. Looks like it's going to be a splashdown, from what I can tell. So this is now at regular speed. Regular speed, we are going to burn up fast. It's part number 1. Oh! Oh, a little part of it made it. Looks like that's the only little part of it that made it. This seems to be slowing down quite a bit. I wonder if this has like some kind of lifting surface to it. It's a shame I can't control it and like rotate it helicopter style. Yes, we know. Dead craft. Can I move on to the next thing now? So launch a new Sentinel. Well, Periapps is at least safe above the station. It's not like at the station. 172,000. Still have Orbiter 3. That's another one I need to somehow deorbit. And then that should really, besides that and Keosat 4, it should be it for stuff I need to deorbit and high orbit, aside from all the debris. The debris is, like I said, somewhat ignorable. Since at least I can turn off debris. And this one's actually going to head back for impact. This one's going to head back for impact, so those two are gone. Those ones are... Oh, maybe this one's not. That one's heading back for some reason. Anyway, I think I'm kind of running out of things to do in the meantime. I might just launch the Sentinel. But let's, yeah, let's launch the Sentinel. Don't really have a good way to launch it, I don't think. Maybe I might just need better antenna technology. Well, this is one of the most boring streams so far, and that's me saying that. Alright. Let's do this. Start with a service bay. Reaction control systems, some batteries, some solar panels, of course we need the Sentinel telescope. Now we need communication. Quite a bit of it. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Oh, those aren't. It's glitchy. Let's put an engine on. All right, there is our telescope. That should do the trick. Might just, yeah, 2 solar panels would be fine. Now we need an overkill rocket. We're going to be sending this into solar orbit. So how overkill do we want to get? That's what's going to be the main question. Probably very overkill. Let's get very overkill. Throw this on. Throw that on. Okay, that'll actually be the main fuel tank. Engine plate on it. Medium short version. Double cluster node. Throw a pair of Terrier engines on that. Put these antenna back on. Give us more solar panels. Okay. Now we're talking. Now I need a payload shroud, which I really want to use this one and close out this experiment. But I'm not going to do that. Build our fairing. Put some retro boosters on. A lot of them. So that should hopefully deorbit the stage below. And now to launch this 9-ton payload out into solar orbit, we're going to use a K-18. So we're going to be way overkilling it for our normal orbit. Need to rebuild the fairing. Got that part of the telescope nicked there. Alright, this is going to be kind of crazy. So, main engine, the 2 verniers, 8 boosters, 8 towers, those all go on the same. We then separate the boosters. Separate the fairing. We then need a step to get to the second stage engine. And then this needs to be disabled for staging. That is what we need. And we need to take off at a specific time of day. because we are going to do a direct launch to independent solar orbit. So we want our launch pad to be facing retrograde, which it is currently completely facing the opposite. Is any of our launch pads coming up on it? Woomerang is coming up on it. This might be a Woomerang launch. Or I could just wait. Time warp. We can always time warp. That's a lot of time warping. But we didn't miss anything important, so that should be fine. Okay, still not time warped enough though. Just a little further. Okay, up is now almost perfectly retrograde. Still need a little bit more time here. This kind of stinks. Feeling very impatient. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Now we go straight up. Because up, relative to Kerbin, is now retrograde relative to a solar orbit. Much higher than usual acceleration out of the K-18, since we have much less payload than usual. That's just fine. That's going to cancel out very shortly when we drop these boosters. They fall away and do their own thing and hopefully don't hit the KSC. We keep on our way. Continuing to accelerate with the first stage. We'll get to a safe altitude to drop the fairing very shortly. That'll reduce the weight even further. Start deploying antennas. Make sure we don't fall out of range. As our first Sentinel did. Solar panel so we don't run out of power. Continuing to accelerate, heading for escape velocity, hopefully. Just watching the first stage tick away. It always seems like this stage is much shorter when I'm trying to make orbit and I'm stressing out. Okay, there we are. On to second stage. Continuing to accelerate. Pretty good. Heading more or less retrograde. So Sentinel satellites like this, they actually are designed to operate with this sun shield aimed at the sun, lens aimed at Kerbin. And that way they get an illuminated view, because they're from the sun side of Kerbin, an illuminated view of all asteroids that could be near Kerbin. Hence the name Sentinel. There's a real-life plan to do exactly that, and sit in front of the sun and watch for any asteroids that are a danger to Earth. There we go. Escape velocity. We're now going to be working on our independent solar orbit. We do want this to be a low orbit near Eve. Down here. So let's go ahead. Let's raise that. Lower that, I should say. Very close to Eve. Alright, and then we're only, what's that, 183 days away from the next maneuver? And then we'll be good. How about that? With just insane amounts of fuel. Because we still have all this stage up here to do this with. In fact, what I need to do... wait till we escape Kerbin Sphere influence. Or maybe not. Maybe I don't. Inclination. Just need to do some kind of maneuver. To burn the last of the fuel here so I can eject this later. Although... nah. Just leave it be. Let it go do its thing. Let's see. What other contracts do we have going on? We've got several contracts to rescue debris here. Hold on. This needs to deorbit. This is right up on that. Really should have figured that out a little sooner. Because that would have been a great opportunity right there. Now we'd need to try and get underneath this, which is at a dangerous altitude to try and do that. But this is just a recovery vehicle anyway, so at the end of the day, who cares if it's a dangerous orbit, right? Just slightly in the atmosphere. Still good. I'm actually going to aero brake slightly. Yep, right there we're in orbit. Or in atmosphere, I should say. Let's do some retrograde burn. Our apogee is going to lower itself as we get into the atmosphere here, but I'm going to not wait that long. Just a little bit of height since we are going to nick the atmosphere by a little bit there. Oh, barely at all. Oh, we should be fine. Well, the game music's gone because I'm in the atmosphere. Aren't I? Yep. Just got back out of the atmosphere. Yep. And there's the game music. Wondering why the time warp was going so slow. I was wondering why the music wasn't working. And that's the reason for both. Yep, should be much closer in the next orbit. We're going to drop into the atmosphere momentarily. Somehow that just raised our apogee. And a feat that defies science. There it is. That's the tiniest amount of trace atmosphere. Yep, there we go, back on ascent. So at this point, we're going to raise our periaps once we get around. Back in space again. Did do an ascending node correction. Let's see, 0.2. Or, yeah, 0.2. can time warp to that maneuver. This is going to be a very fast maneuver. Very faster than I can hit the keys. Pretty close. Alright. Inclination difference is solved. We now need to reset our timing here. With some radial adjustment. Aha. Part of that is altitude. There we go. 0.1 kilometers, so 100 meters. Time warp to that maneuver. It'll actually put us back into a safe orbit as well. So we got a 1 second maneuver burning this way. Good maneuver there. Just a tiny bit of correction. More space debris. We'll be able to deorbit tonight if that goes well. Just 17.3 meters per second of delta V to try and close when we do get there. We can once again warp pretty close to the maneuver. Time warp stopped. Why did time warp stop? Oh, because we went into the atmosphere. Okay, never mind. That wasn't a safe orbit. Actually, a very not safe orbit. Due to the radial change. Aha. Okay. Well, let's see if it makes it. We're going about 2,500 meters into the atmosphere. We are getting atmospheric drag. That is messing up our intersect as well. So what we're going to do, just a little bit of prograde. It's just going to lightly hit. Lightly, I said. Because I lightly hit the thrust. Oh, it's because I was in time warp when I did that. Ew. Probably was a bad idea, but that's fine. Oh, and that was... Nice. Let's prograde the target that I just burned as well. That's why it threw us way off. That's embarrassing. Do a quick correction burn towards the planet while we're in atmosphere. Great idea. That's not dangerous. It'll be fine, guys. It'll be fine. We're barely in atmosphere now anyway. We're through the worst of it. Our relative speed will be closer now when we approach. That's a plus. slowly drifting on our separation because of the time we just spent in atmosphere. Once again, we are back in orbit though. So we can now time warp the rest of the way to our rendezvous. And then we can deorbit this for real. So maneuver, just so we have our timing to closest point of intersect. We're going to switch back to target maneuvering, retrograde to target. 10 meters per second is basically going to be a 1 second burn. You can probably just eyeball this one. I don't have to be fancy about it. Little hop gun for good luck. Getting pretty close. Okay, we've now equalized our speed relative to target. So we are station keeping. Get rid of that node. And now, let's disarm and rearm this grappler. Make sure it actually functions as intended. So I did notice it does have a bit of a problem if you don't do that. Alright, let's go for it. A little bit of a fast go here, but we've got RCS to decelerate, which actually we need to do quite a bit of. Let's decelerate right now. Better. A little up and to the right. We can cancel that out now. Up and to the left. Cancel that out. It's odd, it didn't grapple. Now have a spinning target. Why is that not... Oh, don't hit the solar panel. Okay. That was rude. Same retrograde to target. Cancel letter movement once more. Why is this being so difficult? I did the whole disarm, rearm thing. That's usually, I thought, the problem. So I have been using this multiple times. Alright, now let's go back to RCS, go back to linear docking. Just inch our way in. I'm going to try and specifically grab the back. This is a 3-axis rotation, so this might get a little challenging. Give it just a little bit of room for that. Okay. Come into the claw. No. There we go. Now it's coming into the claw. Yeah, just a little off. Had to let it go. Alright. Just a little bit more room. I think I just clipped it with a solar panel. Did I? Is that an optical illusion? Okay. Ignore the nap ball. Well, I got it the way I wanted it. I don't know why it still didn't clamp. I definitely grabbed that the way I wanted to. Why is this not? Okay, one crazy thing I'm going to try and do. Clear? Clear. Yep. Yep. Okay, now we need to go back to target, back to retrograde. Cancel our movement to target. Okay. For it once more. RCS. Try it without all that extra weight at the back. Find its center. At least I dulled the rotation a little bit. This is getting really frustrating. Come on, grab the darn thing. Status locked. Why status locked? Let's just try a trick. Untitled spacecraft debris. I don't know what that is. It's probably the piece that we just ejected off. Nope, it's not. Oh, and of course we switched while we were in atmosphere. Great. Wonderful. Alright, time warp then. I'd love to watch this piece of debris just spin around the planet. Still got Mimus rover on the way. That is going to be one crazy move. So once this is back out of atmosphere, which hopefully this doesn't just have the most gradual deorbit of all time and manage to mess me up, but it should get back out of atmosphere. Should be able to switch back to my craft. That is when the game mechanics allow you to do so. What's our Sentinel doing? It seems we're doing all right. Almost there. Alright, finally. Now we can see if the spinning has stopped. Spinning has stopped. Okay. Little cheaty. But it was being a little ridiculous, so. Just want to get this space debris deorbited. Okay, this time we're going to treat this like it's a dock. Going to get our alignment spot on. Get our direction figured out. So roll, pitch, and yaw all looks good. Well, yeah, maybe just a little bit off. Okay, now we treat it like it's a dock. That looks pretty well lined up. There we go. Okay. Ah, that was a pain. Sure, we're controlling from here. We are back to SAS. We are going retrograde, and we are burning this sucker up. At this point, we're out of RCS almost, so we're just going to scrap this cleanup probe along with this one rather than reorbiting it. Shoulder over so we don't get stuck watching that all the way to its impact. Sure, our rover is facing the sun because this keeps being a problem. Get its solar power going. How far are we away from our intersect now? 2 days. I don't think I'm going to time warp 2 days. We're getting near where I usually cut off stream. So I think I might just go and check the stations real quick. Collect any science from the 2 stations. I think that'll probably be it. Since, of course, we've got lots of science over on Valentina Kerman Station, orbiting the moon. Two labs currently processing all that science. So yeah, 76 science here. We can transmit that down. %. Second lab, another 76. We can transmit that down. Okay, and then aside from this station, we of course have Jebediah Kerman Station in Kerbin orbit. We won't have any science on the Deep Space Gateway since our crew is still on the way. Only one lab on the Jebediah Kerman Station. Okay, we got nothing from redoing that experiment. Just looking for any experiments I can try and redo on the external experiment module. That might be useful to load into the lab, but I don't think there's anything left. I want to say that that is that. See how much science that gets us. $467 science total now at this point. And considering it's doing this glitch again, where it doesn't let me click on anything, I think that's probably, that's a sign. That's a sign, since I have to restart it, that this is where we're going to end it. So, with that being said, guys, thanks everyone for watching who watched tonight. If you want to see all of our previous streams, you can check them out at youtube.com/DoLikeCultureBro down there at the bottom. And, of course, if you want to see our next content instead, we stream pretty much every night, 7 p.m. to about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, thanks everyone for watching, and have a great night.